Welcome to this FCM 50T replay. The FCM 50T in this game is played by the AlmightyBaboonKovson from F15. You might remember him from a replay earlier on. He's sort of a familiar face now on the channel. And he's going to show us here on Fiery Salient in Encounter mode what you can actually do with an FCM 50T if you choose the right position. And at the start he's moving up to the middle to just see if he can spot something, see what the enemy does, get some eyes up for his team, which is always important. The other guys around him, apart from the ELC, are pretty blind, so he's sort of the middle spotter. I mean, you saw the replay earlier this week of me playing in the CDC, which is also a tier 8 French medium tank. Difference being that the CDC is a medium tank. Well, in reality, as I said in that video, it's not, it's a TD, and this is a heavy tank. Well, in reality, it's a medium tank. So the definitions are sort of funny, but they're similar vehicles, but not at the same time. Both of them have pretty much no armor, with the exception the CDC having absolutely no armor, but both of them will be pretty much penetrated by anything that shoots at them. They have the same gun, they have really nice mobility, although the FCM turns better, and they have nice gun depression, and yeah, overall they're similar tanks, although the FCM gets preferential matchmaking, which means that this tank will not meet tier 10s, which is a huge advantage, obviously. The reason why I ended up getting the CDC instead of the FCM was not only the price, but I think the CDC looks cooler, and I've already got the AMX 100 tier 8 French heavy tank, so I'm not really planning on spending money on another one that I probably will play very little anyway. I had some hopes of getting it in the last Clan Wars campaign for free, but in the end I couldn't play for 2 days and I missed out, unfortunately, so yeah. I got the T23, which is also a really cool tank anyway, so as you can see, Kovson already put some really nice fire down, some spotting damage. There's a Tiger on his team on the left, which is keeping sort of overwatch and doing some long range sniping. And the ELC is at the moment doing probably most of the spotting. Now we can see that most of the heavies of his team are in the middle, and on this map the middle is a key location. You definitely want to have tanks in the middle because it gives you spots left and right, as well as access to and shooting positions to the left and the right flank, which are vitally important to control the rest of the map. Normally though, you'd expect the enemy to actually put tanks in the middle as well, and in this instance they didn't. One of the reasons probably is that they've got a couple of high tier TVs. Well, his team has got high tier TVs as well, but his team has also got, for instance, a T34, which is absolutely awesome on ridge lines because it's got really nice depression and good turret armor. And the enemy team doesn't have that. They have a Centurion, but he's somewhere at the back, not being very useful, which is not really a good use of that tank. You need to be at a ridge line. I mean, it's a ridge line on the left as well, but it's a useless ridge line because you're trying to snipe and not using your turret to tank damage. So yeah, now the left flank seems slightly more clear. There's one IS-3 in the middle. The Oni is trying to reenact the Titanic. I don't know what he's doing all the way over there, but it must be useful. And all the while, Kovson is just trying to keep up eyes, trying to see if he can spot something, and yeah, see if there's any more kills to be made, damage to be made, but it doesn't seem that the IS-3 is moving up yet. He blind fires some shots there because earlier on the T28 prototype was firing from roughly that direction, so he's just seeing if I can put in some blind shots, seeing if it can do damage, but the shots seem to fly right straight through, so that means that the T28 either pulled back or isn't there anymore. And with the luxury of these French tanks is that since they've got this 90mm, you've got more than enough ammo, so you can do a little bit of blind shooting to see if you can speculatively hit stuff. And now this Ferdinand shows up. He's caught out completely in the wrong location with relatively weak sides, and Kovson gets spotted by the IS-3, who seems to have moved up to the middle, which is a nice move of him. It at least gives his team some eyes in the middle as well, which makes the fight slightly more fair. And seeing that it's sort of such a one-sided engagement, or it seems so, the teams are actually quite equal. At the moment, though, the enemy team has more TDs, which have better camo and generally nicer view range. So it's developing in a little bit of a tricky situation where you have to be careful, because even though Kovson has quite alright spotting range, it's still a French heavy, so it's not going to outspot, for instance, a Hellcat or a T-28 prototype. So Tiger is moving up. Kovson is keeping a watch over him because the Ferdinand is still there, who is probably a one-shot at this point, but still he can put 500 damage into that Tiger if he gets a chance. IS-3 sort of things of coming over, but the T-34 is holding him back at the moment, and Kovson is a little bit undecided what to do. But then the Tiger spots the Ferdinand. Kovson puts one shot in, takes aim and takes out the Ferdinand. So now, as far as we know, the left flank is completely clear, but the Tiger lost about 1000 HP trying to move up, which is a little bit unfortunate, because health advantage is always nice, especially in these engagements where you're up against TDs, because most of the time they'll get at least one shot off before you spot them or can shoot them. So you have to have HP to trade or really good armor to bounce their shot, which, apart from the T-34 at this point, really none of them have on this flank. So Kovson decides that his use in the middle has run out. He's still full health, so he's got that to trade for a resource, and he's moving up to the left flank to support the Tiger, who is now a one-shot for everyone sneezing in his general direction. IS-3 seems to have pulled back, T-34 moved over, and that is a bit of a stupid mistake, because the T-34, while it has great turret armor, the hull armor is absolute crap. So if you expose your hull, you will get killed by anyone. He should have just hung back and used his gun pressure to shoot the IS-3, but I guess that was too much to ask this late in the game. It's always unfortunate to lose tanks like that for no reason, but Kovson is being careful moving up. There's still no certainty that there isn't a Hellcat there on the left that's sort of cloaked in the bushes, but you don't know until you actually go find them. But then he spots the arty, and the arty is not going to outspot him, luckily. So managed to put a shot into that guy, and then we see that one T-28 prototype is on the other side of the railroad, and one Hellcat is over there, so that's two tanks accounted for. At least they got spotted, so now it's time for Kovson to move up. And now he needs to be careful, because, as said earlier, the T-28 was on the railway embankment over there on the left, and very, very soon he'll become visible, because he's sort of still there. He moved a little bit, but not much, and yeah, he snaps a shot into Kovson and then retreats, which, I mean, it makes a sort of sense if you want to preserve your HP, but on the other side of the railway embankment you're completely useless, because his team hasn't got arty, so all Kovson has to do is get close and proxy spot him, and he'll just get completely hammered for free. So the best thing for him to, despite the weirdness of the whole situation, was to push forward and get behind this ridge and get hull down again, because now there's nothing he can do. Kovson can just do this all day long and just wait for other tanks to put fire in. One tank hasn't been spotted yet, the Comet. He's somewhere. He's an orange player, so he's not bad, but he's not the best either. But the Comet in this matchmaking tier 8 should be God if played well. But this guy is still full health, has been pretty much useless all match long, apart from now, and now he's shooting HE. So, yeah, it's always sad to see people play Comet like this, because it is an awesome tank in this kind of matchmaking, and it has really nice turret armor, so he could have actually easily done 2000 damage or something. And now he's sort of deciding to run away, because apparently this whole situation scares him a little bit. If I could give him one tip, just use your spotting range and gun depression to see if you can find people. T-28 prototype there in the bushes, halfway on the spotting range, and he vanishes. So Kovson puts one shot in, pulls back, but there is still a Hellcat on the left, and a Hellcat has really good spotting range. Kovson decides to move over. He gets spotted while doing so. Hellcat puts one shot into him, prototype puts the second in, and he's sort of pinned in, but he manages to kill the T-28 prototype, while the Hellcat kills the Tiger 1. The right thing to do in this situation, because the Tiger 1 was a one shot, although Kovson was a more important target, player stats wise. So now there's just one Hellcat left. Kovson is moving up. In this situation I would aim to the right here, because there's always a situation that a player like that will pop out. But I guess he was guessing that the guy would come from this side. So Tiger P is capping. It's always, in a situation like this, it's always good to have at least one tank in the cap. It's not specifically to actually cap, but just to put pressure on the enemy to not ignore the cap completely. Hellcat seems to have vanished from this side of the map, so he must be following the river. So Kovson moves up. He's still got one shot left in him, because the Hellcat has a 90mm which does 240 damage, so he can afford to at least take one shot. And there's the Hellcat, so auto aims one shot into him, but the Hellcat dings. So this is a GG for the Hellcat and a GG for Kovson. So this, apart from 5000 W8 in the in-game counter, was obviously an ace tanker badge, but also a patrol duty, which is a really nice medal to get in this tank, as well as Confederate and high caliber. He managed to get nearly 1700 base XP for this match, and really, really nice damage output, around the 4000 mark. So yeah, really well played, especially judging the situation and just remaining calm, not taking unnecessary risks, and pulling his team through. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and see you next time, guys.